Let me expand on what it means to focus on yourself and why it is one of the most powerful, life-changing decisions you can make. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with images, messages, and ideas about who we should be, what we should have, and how we should live. Social media alone is enough to make you feel like you're constantly falling behind. You see people showcasing their successes, their vacations, their awards, their accomplishments, and it's easy to start feeling like you're lacking. But here's the truth, what you see is just a snapshot. It's just a glimpse. You're comparing your whole journey with its ups and downs to someone else's highlights. That comparison, that constant measuring of yourself against others will never give you peace. It will never give you clarity, and it will never give you purpose. Why? Because each of us is on a unique path. No two people have the exact same background, the exact same dreams, or the exact same challenges. You weren't created to be a copy of someone else. You were created to be authentically fully you. When you spend your time focused on someone else, you're allowing yourself to be distracted from the work that's meant to happen within you. And that work is the foundation of everything else in your life. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean you're shutting out the world. It doesn't mean you don't care about other people or that you stop supporting them. What it means is that you recognize the importance of being centered, grounded, and aware of who you are and what you're called to do. It means making a decision to invest in your growth, your healing, your transformation, and your purpose. Because if you don't invest in yourself, if you don't build yourself up, no one else will. You've got to prioritize yourself. Let's take a moment to understand what happens when you focus on yourself. The first thing that changes is that you start to see your own worth more clearly. When you're constantly looking at others, you might miss what's special, what's valuable, and what's unique about you. But when you turn inward, when you stop comparing and start appreciating, you begin to uncover gifts, strengths, and talents that were there all along, waiting to be recognized. It's as if you've been searching for something outside of you that's been within you the entire time. When you focus on yourself, you also become more confident. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of confidence. When you're always measuring yourself by someone else's achievements, you're bound to feel like you're lacking. But when you focus on your own journey, when you concentrate on becoming the best version of yourself, you begin to trust yourself more. You start to realize that you're capable, that you're talented, and that you have everything you need to succeed. That's when true confidence begins to grow, not from external validation, but from an inner knowing that you are enough, just as you are. Another powerful effect of focusing on yourself is that it clarifies your purpose. When you're busy watching someone else's life, it's easy to get lost. You start wondering if maybe you should be doing what they're doing, if maybe their path is the right one. But your purpose is unique. It's tailored to you, and you can only uncover it by spending time getting to know yourself, by listening to your own desires, by following your own dreams, and by moving in alignment with who you truly are. When you start living your life based on your purpose instead of someone else's expectations, you'll find a fulfillment and joy that cannot be matched by anything else. Focusing on yourself also builds resilience. Life will always have its storms, its challenges, and its setbacks. But when you know who you are, when you are grounded in your own identity, those storms don't shake you as easily. You're not as affected by the winds of doubt or insecurity because your foundation is solid. You've invested in yourself, you've built yourself up, and you know that no matter what comes, you have the strength to get through it. You're not easily swayed by others' opinions or by the ups and downs of life because you know your own value, you know your own worth, and you know that you have what it takes to overcome. Now, let me tell you what it looks like when you don't focus on yourself. When you're constantly looking at others, you're scattered, you're distracted, and you're drained. You're trying to be something you're not, and that's exhausting. You're carrying a burden that was never meant for you, and it's weighing you down. You feel like you're never enough, like you're always falling short, and that sense of inadequacy begins to eat away at you. That's because you're out of alignment with your own life, your own purpose, and your own potential. You see, there's a divine rhythm, a sacred flow that you're meant to follow. But you can't hear it if you're drowning in the noise of what everyone else is doing. You have to get quiet, you have to turn inward, and you have to turn inward, and you have to listen. There's a voice within you that knows the way, that knows what you're meant to do, and that knows how to guide you forward. But if you don't take the time to focus on yourself, if you're too busy worrying about what others think, you'll miss it. You'll miss the guidance, the wisdom, and the intuition that's trying to lead you toward your destiny. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean that you have all the answers. And it doesn't mean that you won't make mistakes. It simply means that you trust the journey. You trust that even in the mistakes, even in the stakes, even in the setbacks, there's a lesson, there's a purpose, and there's growth. You're no longer wasting time trying to prove yourself to others because you're already secure in who you are. You're free to live authentically, to take risks, to follow your dreams, and to become the person you were created to be. And as you focus on yourself, something amazing begins to happen. You become a light for others. You become an example, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because your life becomes a testimony of what's possible when you live with intention and purpose. People begin to notice that there's something different about you, something powerful, something inspiring. They see that you're not easily shaken. You're confident, that you're joyful, and that you're fulfilled. And it's all because you've taken the time to cultivate that within yourself. When you focus on yourself, you begin to live in alignment with your highest potential. You start to see that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. You realize that you don't need to compare yourself to anyone because there's no one else like you. You are a one-of-a-kind creation, and that's a beautiful thing. You have a purpose, a mission, a calling that's uniquely yours, and no one else can fulfill it. No one else can do what you were created to do. Imagine what would happen if you dedicated the same time, the same energy, and the same attention that you give to others, to yourself. Imagine the growth, the transformation, and the impact you could have. Imagine the person you would become, the strength you would have, and the life you could build. All of that is within your reach, but it requires your focus, your commitment, and your dedication. You have to be willing to turn away from the distractions, to let go of the need for approval, and to trust in yourself. So take a moment to think about what you truly want. Not what others want for you, not what society expects from you, but what you want for yourself. What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are the things that light you up, that make you feel alive, that give you a sense of purpose? Focus on those things, nurture them. Protect them, because they are the keys to your fulfillment, your happiness, and your success. This is your life. This is your journey, and no one else can live it for you. So stop looking around, stop comparing, stop doubting, and start focusing on yourself. Start building the life that's meant for you. Start becoming the person you were created to be, and watch how everything else begins to fall into place. Focus on yourself, because that's where your true power lies.